Good afternoon, and welcome to another weekend edition of Lakers Fast Break Spotlight on the Lakerholics weekend. I am once again the only Lakerholic here today, and that's no big deal. I might have a friend coming on, my backup, my relief pitcher, my sixth man of the year. We'll see if they're having technical difficulties out in Minnesota, where the Wi-Fi generally grows green, but we'll see how it all comes through here in the long run. I saw that squint, Gerald. I saw that squint. I'm happy to have Gerald Glassford with me, host of all the other shows that happen on the Lakers Fast Break, except for the late night recaps by Joe Soros, where Joe gets a little sauced and blathers on about this, that, and the other thing, and we're glad he does it. Or at least we don't mind. I don't know. Some people might not be glad he does it. I don't much care. Happy to be here. Happy that we're looking down the barrel at the end of preseason. We got about a week left of preseason. It's going to be interesting to see how the Lakers look later this evening. They've had about a week, 6 days, I want to say, between their last game and tonight. I believe we're playing Golden State again tonight, and then Phoenix again on Tuesday, if memory serves. And then that's it. I believe that's it for preseason. Season starts the fall.
No, there's 2 more games after that. There's 6.
Oh, there's 2 more games. Oh, God, there's so much more to go then. We're nowhere near the end. What was I saying? Why did you let me talk like that?
There's 4 more to go, Jamie. 4 more to go.
Oh, whatever. It's fine. It's good. It'll be fun.
They even have a back-to-back plan, which just absolutely blows my mind that they would have a back-to-back.
I don't understand.
That they had a week off. Yeah,
right. Just that you would do that to any team in preseason is kind of astounding. Yeah. Like, we're going to really stick it to you. We're going to stick it right to you there. Yep. Laker fans and team and whatever. Anyway, it's fine. I'm sure nobody important will play on the back-to-back. So if you're excited about the G League team, make sure you catch that back-to-back, the second part of the back-to-back game. Or the first. We're not sure. They might sit guys the first. They might sit guys the second. We'll see. But I doubt that Luka will play in a back-to-back in the preseason because that's just crazy. And I'm sure the league will send an email. We'd love it if all your players play. Well, then maybe you should be more intelligent with your scheduling.
Not during the preseason. Not during the preseason. They even come to Vegas, I believe, this week as well. So.
Yeah, after Tuesday.
Yeah, they've got their annual Vegas game, and I don't unless I get press passes or ask for press passes, I ain't going up, man.
Thomas and Mack, baby, one of my favorite.
For an exhibition game, the prices are not fun. I'm not wasting my money.
He says they're having an issue with the sound. I'm just gonna let him know he might have to rejoin the studio.
Yes, that'll probably work. But just want to give everybody a thank you for joining us here at the Lakerholics. I was a Lakerholic until Laker Tom said that I couldn't put up my videos there anymore. I still pop on every now and then to see the banter between these guys. And as you guys know, I plug them every show, Lakerholics.com. Laker Tom with every dream trade imaginable is right there, and Jamie to undercut it in every way possible right there.
That's not true. It's not true. It's not true.
Look at the comments. Look at the comments. My truth is told. I'll say that. And then Michael's somewhere in between. I'll just leave it at that. But yes, I am the relief pitcher also coming in out of the bullpen because the guys couldn't make it here today. But I know L. Rob wants to come back on, so I'm looking forward to him coming back on here probably around the season starting, looks like. But yeah, just great to be here, man. Great to be here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so preseason has not revealed much that we didn't know. I mean, Luka hasn't played, LeBron hasn't played, and without those 2 guys, the Lakers are pretty awful. No surprise there. It's been nice to see Vando looking more like Vando from 3 seasons ago. That's been nice for me. I know you're not a big Jared Vanderbilt believer, but I am, and so it's been cool for me to see him.
I know you're on Vando Hill. I know you planted that flag. You and Empire Jeff TV planting that Vando flag.
I love Empire Jeff TV. He's a smart man, unlike most of the people I hobnob with on the show. No, I'm just kidding. Listen. Vanderbilt has a lot of warts, and I will never sugarcoat those. But what he does very well, and it's something.
Well, he's on the show. He's another year removed from that double foot surgery. He does look more agile.
Yeah, and decisive. Decisive, I would say.
But he's still making some mistakes on defense, and his offense is still his offense. But I think that he probably will be my guest to start. He's my guest to start right now.
Tonight, or do you
Well,
mean?
tonight, but I mean going forward, I think that because they're always the coaches are always infatuated with playing veterans. Always have to be names. Always have to be it's the comfort comfortability is always something that they like. I would say the leader in the clubhouse now would be Vanderbilt because I'm not sure if Smart. He will play tonight, I think. Smart, last time I checked, Marcus Smart is a go for tonight, but it's been kind of touch and go with the Achilles tendonitis. So I'm not sure if that's going to allow him to get enough reps to start the season as a starting lineup. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to say it's definitive, but my leader in the clubhouse right now is Jared Vanderbilt to start.
And you mean in place of LeBron, not as
Yes.
the elusive fifth starter who nobody can agree on being.
No. That was already set in stone. That was already something that I think they had already shown their hand. It was going to be Luka, Austin, LeBron, Rui, and of course
Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton. Yes,
and I think it dominated. Well, we'll see. He has, let me give. He has
not dominated.
Not he's not shooting great yet so far, and wow, is he a bad ball handler in ways that I had not expected to really see. He's such an enigma to me. Like, I remember when we got him, I was like, man, I don't really know what to think about this. Like, there's he's like his own zodiac symbol chart of how he plays on any given night. He's either like uber focused on both ends, just dominating the court. You think this guy could be an annual All-Star. And then one game later, he can't catch the ball. He can't hit a shot. It's just all over the place. And you're kind of like, what? and every aspect in between, like that's just the two vast polar opposites. There's a whole spectrum in between of where you're like, oh, you're scoring okay tonight, but there's no defense, or oh, your defense is great tonight, or hey, you didn't have any turnovers, but everything was just a little bit like whatever. Like, there's such a degree of variance to his game that it makes it hard.
We got some guests coming on right here. Your guests are here.
Oh, what's up, Julian? How you doing today?
Good.
Yeah, all right. So we have Julian here from Minnesota. Julian is a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. We're just going to give you I just have a few questions for you about the Timberwolves and where you're at with that whole process. And then you can carry on with your day. You don't have to stay here and talk about the Lakers part unless you want to. It's up to you. All right. No pressure. No pressure. First off, how long have you been a Minnesota Timberwolves fan?
Pretty much ever since I moved here. So maybe like 7 years.
7 years strong, rocking and rolling. All right. That's fun. And who is your favorite Minnesota Timberwolves player?
Anthony Edwards.
It's not Rudy Gobert. You don't love Rudy Gobert?
No.
Even Minnesota Timberwolves fans have a problem with Rudy Gobert. I love it. But I mean, let me ask you a question about Rudy Gobert though, since I brought him up. Do you feel like he is an important part of your team?
Yeah. Because we need a good center, and I think Rudy is a great one.
I agree with that. What is your prediction this year for the Minnesota Timberwolves record? Do you have a prediction? Do you think?
No, I think it could go. If someone gets injured, it's not going to be the best because I think every player on our team does a lot.
That's fair. That's a fair observation. I think that's true for most NBA teams. Key guy goes down, especially, I think you could survive a Mike Conley injury okay, and that Mike Conley is an old person for basketball, and he's always injured for a little while every season. But again, he's a key player, and they play better with him on the floor. Last question. Do you think the Minnesota Timberwolves have enough to win the NBA title this season?
Yeah.
You do. Do you think? Would you rather face the Lakers or the Timberwolves? I'm sorry, the Nuggets or the Lakers in a 7-game series?
In a 7? Probably Nuggets.
Oh, hey, that's some Laker respect right there. I love it. I'm into that. And let's see. I got one more question for you. And it's not a hard one. Do you ever see yourself becoming a Lakers fan?
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, hey!
All right.
That's the right answer for this show. That's the right answer for the show. All right, so we're going to get back to talking about Lakers. Julian, you're welcome to hang with us for as long as you want. I would not want to keep you from whatever it is you're up to today. I know you have some activities planned. Are you wearing your Timberwolves shirt right now? Can we see that?
Yeah, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, you got your Edwards. Nice. Way to rep the jersey. Have you had a chance to watch any Timberwolves preseason yet or not yet? It's not the most exciting.
Yeah, I watched some highlights, but yeah, that's about it.
That's fair. Has Anthony Edwards been playing in preseason yet or not really? I haven't watched any. I don't know.
I think, yeah.
Cool. That's good. LeBron hasn't played yet and won't for a month, and Luka's hopefully going to play tonight. So I'm excited for preseason tonight because we haven't really seen the actual Lakers team, and as a result, they've been terrible. Do you have any questions for us?
No.
That's all right. I didn't think you would, but I just thought I'd put it out there. I didn't want you to have like a burning question and not know when to ask it. This is your first podcast, I take it? Fantastic. Well, this is
great.
This is the guy who makes it all happen down yonder. His name is Gerald Glassford. I didn't introduce you guys earlier, so that's my bad. I'm a terrible host. Gerald will say as much, so I just tend to blather on and say whatever comes out of my mouth.
You do.
Hey, usually the chat's full of people who appreciate that. Not today, though. We don't have any questions from the chat yet. Chat's a little quiet tonight or today. All right. So like I said, Julian, we're happy to have you on as long as you want to hang on. But if you're like, I gotta go, guys, don't even worry about it. Don't sweat it. It was great having you on the show one way or the other.
Okay.
I have a basketball question for either of you, should you choose to answer it, Julian. How much does preseason matter?
Not a lot to me.
Not a lot to me, he says. Gerald, your thoughts on preseason?
I could just say that when it comes to preseason, all depends. For the top 2, 3, 4 guys on your team, it's just about getting them reps and getting them in shape. But for the rest of the team, it's very important because you're trying to figure out rotation. You're trying to figure out who will actually still make the team. I mean, there's guys at the back end of the roster that might be playing for the very NBA lives, even though there's so many guaranteed contracts now these days. But there's always 1 or 2 spots or 2 ways that you might want to go ahead and pop in there or have them fight for. And if that's the case, those 2-way guys still play or can play up to 40, 45 games during the season. So the stars, no, this is not very important. They're usually in shape. They're usually ready to go. They just want to get the exhibition season over with and get it underway, the regular season underway. But for guys 5 through 15 or more, if you've got bring more than that to camp, it could be important as far as what their future for the season holds.
I agree with that. I think that there's always a few guys on every team in training camp. The camp roster invites, and they might not even necessarily be trying. I mean, they would love to, I'm sure, latch onto an NBA team, but they might just be hoping like, oh, I played well enough in preseason. This team or another team is going to offer me a G League job. The G League is, I think, a vital part of the modern NBA. It's something that I wish had been around for a little longer or been taken seriously for a little longer because it's a great place for guys who have to develop fundamentals in their game and improve on the fundamentals of their game to show that they're doing that, to make strides, because you're not going to play in a game in the NBA if you're not very good. But in the G League, you could be learning, you have the opportunity to develop and play in the game, test out what you're working on in the lab, put it to practice on the floor against actual opponents who are trying to beat you, not just practice, where, practice is compelling, but it's not a real game. And so as a result, I do think that I think preseason is actually a fairly important aspect of NBA life for a lot of the reasons that Gerald mentioned, but mainly because there are guys, like Gerald said, actually, that are just trying to stick in the league or close enough to the league that they might get a call up if somebody goes down. Julian, do you know what the name of the G League team is for the Timberwolves?
No.
I'm sure it's something wolf related, like the raccoons or the possums. Maybe the hedgehogs. I'll bet it's something like that. The Wild? No, that's their hockey team. They're very rural oriented. Sorry, Joe, we can't hear you.
Oh,
So,
you got the Wolves right, but it's the Iowa Wolves.
Did they play in Iowa?
Yes, that would be the guess being
being the name. The Iowa Wolves. That's not the Minnesota Timberwolves, just the Iowa Wolves.
The Iowa Wolves. They play out of Des Moines.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. I mean, not as fun as playing out of Minnesota, because I think that Des Moines is probably not as fun of a city as Minneapolis is.
You just alienated yourself from the entire city of Des Moines. Great, nice going.
I don't mind. I don't think I have any fans there.
Well, if you did, they're gone now.
For your sake, Gerald, I'm sorry if I tank the show in Des Moines. If our Des Moines
I've lost 5 subscribers. There you go. All right.
You haven't. Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie. I've lost 5 subscribers. That guy doesn't like Iowa. We're out. You gotta love America. All right. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. If that's who can even be considered ahead. Listen, there's another question that Marcus Smart hasn't played for the Lakers yet. I'm very curious to see what Marcus Smart brings to the table. Should he actually suit up and see 10 to 15 minutes of floor time tonight? I really like the idea of Marcus Smart and Vanderbilt. The offensive end is a question mark with this rotation, but the defensive potential of Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt and DeAndre Ayton is, to me, quite intriguing. You would probably need to add Jake LaRavia and Reeves to that mix for it to have any type of success. But I'm curious to see what that pairing brings out of us. Gerald, what are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, like you said, if you put all 3 of those guys, if you put both those guys out there simultaneously, yes, your defense becomes markedly better. In theory, we don't again know how healthy Marcus Smart is, because again, everybody like Jovan Buha and others, Joe and whatnot, who talked about putting Marcus Smart in the starting lineup. The number I always come back to is 54, which is the number of games he's played in the past 2 seasons. So I don't know how healthy he is. I don't know how much he can give you on a consistent basis, because if he's just going to get hurt 3 or 4 games down the line, then it really upsets the chemistry and balance of the team. But if he, and I don't even know how much he has left. I know he's only 31, but he works so hard on those imitation parquet floors in Boston that I don't know how much he has left.
Can I just say that I love it every time you say imitation parquet floors? I do think that's one of the best.
I just, always want to take a shot. You forgive me, Julian. I always want to take shots at the Celtics. Sorry.
I do too. He doesn't care.
But I'll just say this. I don't know how much he has, because remember, he worked so hard getting to the level that he once did as Defensive Player of the Year. I do not know how much he has left. So this year is definitely a prove-it year for him. But it's also one of the main advantages of the team is that they have 7 guys that are trying to play for new contracts. So they're very financially motivated, incentivized to play at a better level than they did previously, plus also be available more than they did previously. Because I'm sure Julian has seen as well, these guys, when they get these nice big contracts, they have a tendency to just, I've got a leg pull. Oh, I've got a hangnail, or I've got something wrong. I'm going to sit out tonight, maybe, and whatnot. You'll see more of that from these guys during, the middle years of their contract. But as it gets closer to the end of their contract and the possibility of being available for another, they become more available. They become more, in a lot of cases, better players, or they try harder, per se, because they know what's on the line. In a lot of cases, not saying all, but the eye test usually will tell you that. As Julian, well, thank you. Please thank Julian for me. Yes, thank Julian's dad for me. For us as well. Yeah. So I'm just going to say that again. I'm very curious to see Marcus Smart, but you guys, or people who out there who put so much on Marcus Smart already before he's even laced up the shoes to go out there. I just want to I would say temper the enthusiasm until we see it out on the court.
God, that's so logical of you.
Until we see him out there for 7 to 10 games straight. If we see him shoot, if we get anywhere near the DPOY, if he's anywhere near in the
I
zip code of
okay, the zip
DPOY,
code, sure.
yes,
We're
if
not
he's
getting that
anywhere
yet. We're not. Everybody should dissolve themselves of the illusion that
the
we're
DPOY
getting
guys,
4 years ago Marcus
yeah,
Smart. It's not happening.
that's not going to happen. But if we get anywhere near that as far as the zip code is concerned, and then on top of that, be able to shoot 35% from deep. I'm not asking because he's never been able to
I know.
consistently do that. He's done it in spots, but not consistently. But if he can, it's a big win for the Lakers and a big win for his paycheck next summer.
I agree. I think that's okay. I'm not gonna lie. When he was talking about his his Achilles I can't say it. Tendinopathy.
Tendonitis. It basically had tendonitis in the Achilles.
Yeah, he's got a sore Achilles, and it's just like
they
great.
looked at the Achilles. They looked at it. They said when they're looking at your Achilles,
You gotta be
that's
careful,
not
man.
great.
That's
But
not
they
great.
did say the structure is sound. But I'm like,
Wonderful. But it still hurts. Like
yeah, it still hurts. So that's not. Plus, he's been sick for a day. So
yeah.
again, I just think don't put too much pressure on him. I know he's a veteran of many years, but if he's trying really hard to gear things up, have him come off the bench. Once he starts giving you 7 games in a row, 10 games in a row, or like 25 minutes of really solid basketball, then look to make the change. Although if you really are dissatisfied with a Vanderbilt or LaRavia in that starting lineup, then make the change then. But I just wouldn't put so much pressure right away on Marcus Smart. I just think it's unfair to him when it comes, getting back in a regular basis in the lineup. He's not being held out by a tanking team, or
Yeah.
he doesn't have the lingering issues, or he's not. I don't know. Maybe he might have been depressed that he saw his team in the year after he was traded win the world title that he was so much a part of. So that obviously could be frustrating as a player as well. So I just think that if you have him as your sixth man to start the season, see how it goes, then you can easily put him into the lineup if you know he can stay out there, on a regular basis. That's all.
I think that's some wisdom there. It's a lot more wisdom than some of the people who have been pushing for Marcus Smart to be a starter, that he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, or be in the conversation. Like, I feel like at times there's this weird disconnect between like what you can achieve in NBA 2K games and what will happen in the real NBA. And it's funny because it's usually older people in my life who are saying Marcus Smart. So I know that they didn't grow up playing NBA 2K.
Yes.
Like Laker Tom, I don't think has ever played a game of NBA 2K in his life. Yet he talks as if he's the manager of the Lakers on NBA 2K, trading all these guys for second rounders and undrafted.
Well, he may just do that and do the simulations.
Right.
He may just get 2K for that as far as the 2K manager, the GM
What's
manager.
up, Johnny? What's up, Johnny?
What's up, Johnny?
On the show. Please tap like. Please like and subscribe. Give him a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast from. If you still review things, 5 stars, baby. It deserves it. It deserves it. Give us a Michelin star if you could. Although we cook, but we don't make food. My thoughts on Marcus Smart are his number one contribution for me this year should be as a mentor for Vando, a mentor for Reeves, a mentor for Bronny, who is probably his career ceiling is probably Marcus Smart. Like if Bronny James ends up having a Marcus Smart-esque career, that's got to be considered a win for the kid, right? Like that's more than anybody would have ever predicted for him to get to. And so if anybody can soak up some Marcus Smart vibes, I would hope it would be Bronny James, followed by Vando and Reeves. Vando already has the chip on it. He already plays mentally like Smart does. He just hasn't been able to put it together on the court.
Vando is who Vando is. He's 8 years in the league now. It is what it is.
No, I would argue that I'm hoping for the exact same stat line that you just put for Marcus Smart for Vanderbilt. If Vando can play the type of defense that we know he's capable of, not turn the ball over, and score to the tune of 10 points a game on 35% shooting from three, that's all. I'm gravy. Like that's beyond hoping. That's past the point of logic for me but that's what I'm hoping for. Everybody's like, oh, you're so negative. You never have a positive thought in your life. Well, I'm positive that I would like for Vando to hit those numbers, because that means whether he's coming off the bench, part of the starting lineup, whatever, that he's a net positive for the team. And I do believe he has the potential to be a net positive for the team. I think the energy the team plays with when he's on the court jumps up significantly, not just because of him, but because of the way they see him playing. Everybody starts to put forth a little bit of extra effort. And, it's a long season. You need a guy like that to come in and pump you up every once in a while. And, Bronny is too cool for school. He doesn't come in with that fire. He's still almost look like he's apologetic in his basketball play at times. Like, sorry, I'm here, everybody. I guess I'll shoot. I want to see him. He's a little bit too Rui Hachimura. Rui Hachimura is better than he's ever shown himself to be, and it's because he plays passively. He's deferential. He's willing to accept a side role, and I'm not saying he should be a superstar, but I think he could be, among a top.
With LeBron out, I think of anybody, I think he is the one that has to get more of the looks in place of LeBron, because
inside and out.
Yes,
he's got a great post-up game that they never use. He's got a
but his drives to the basket is still concerning.
I don't want him to drive to the basket. I want to post him up. I don't want him to. He doesn't beat his guy off the dribble, right? He doesn't have a great first step. He doesn't even have like a great move to the basket. It's usually pretty straight into his defender, and the defender either steals the ball or he picks up an offensive foul, and he looks around confusedly. It's like, well, you got to move left or right, or you got to do something, man. You got to make a basketball move. Like, anybody can run at the basket and try to barrel a guy over. That's not skill. That's just silly. He doesn't have a great to the basket move. He has a great back to the basket arsenal. And when he uses it, he's twice as effective, and we never use it. Yeah, I know. Rui, we got the Bruce Banner version of Rui. We want the Hulk version. We want your inner Hulk to come out, Mr. Hachimura. Please, I'm begging you.
Again, it goes back to the fact that he is incentivized financially to really break out this season.
It's the second time you brought that up, and I go back and forth on that.
I'm going to have to do. It's generational change for him, especially for him and Austin, and that's just something that I wanted to. I think I don't know if I mentioned it when you and Tom were on. He and Austin are in their late 20s.
Yeah,
they have one opportunity in their primes to get a multi-year generational wealth type money. For Rui, it'd be like 4 for, let's say 4 for 80. Let's just say something like that. Just throwing the number out there for him, 4 for 8. That's still $80 million that would be coming his way. I'm just running that out for you guys. You guys can go ahead and whatever, as far as put in whatever numbers you want with him. For Austin, his representatives are going to be asking for 35, maybe even with another year like he has last year comparatively. If he has something like that, $40 million per year. I know. I would never pay him that. I would never pay him that. I would probably pay him
it's hard to see. I know there's teams with caps.
I know they're going to ask. It depends on what they're going to get.
Okay,
most likely 30 to 35. But,
that's a little early. Yeah,
they're going to ask for a lot. When you're a rep, you always ask for more, and then and ultimately end up taking less.
You're not doing your job, by the way.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, but these two are only going to get probably one bite at the apple for a extended multi-year contract. So you have to play the season accordingly, like a lot is on the line for those two. So those two, I think Austin, you're going to see a great year from. And now the fact that LeBron is out is going to, it doesn't make the team better, Jamie, but it will make Rui and Austin better if they stay out there on the court, because they will be getting more touches, more usage, and more opportunities to prove themselves on a larger scale for at least this time around. Now, is it going to be more than what they can handle, or is it more than what they should deserve? I'll leave it up to you guys, but I'm just saying, in a team where it's going to need more offense when you got 24, 7, and 7 out of the lineup based on last year, then you need to make it up somewhere. And those two are probably the first two places I would look. Plus DeAndre Ayton as well, getting 15 to 20 points a game. to try and alleviate some of that.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I would put Ayton in that same boat, and also he's also in the boat.
Well, he's also playing for he's 20. He's
He's only
26.
27. Yeah, that's right. He's only 26.
But he is also playing, Jamie, for his future to be thought of as a starting level NBA center. He blows it here. Nobody will think of him as a starting level NBA center.
You're making vet minimums the rest, however much longer you want to,
or a mid level or something.
Yeah. You might get somebody's MLE, whatever. Sure, yeah. If if they're desperate, maybe, or if they think that you're a great fit.
He has to be dominating, as
he's got to put up,
or else, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's
some numbers. I'll end the dominating talk right there, but
No, don't lie. It's his nickname.
It's hilarious in and of itself because
go on basketballreference.com and they have the nickname section under their names, and that's one of them. Like, oh, come on, bro.
I know.
When did that happen? Well, it happened like
if
year
he gives
two.
You 17 and 10. If he gives you 17 and 10,
I'm happy with that.
Then a lot of people would be happy with that.
I think he'd be happy with that too, because it means that he's involved in the offense more than just finishing lobs. If you just have him finishing lobs, he's only going to get to about 10, 15 points a game at best.
He's never been a lob getter. He's not been a consistent lob getter even.
He's not athletic. I don't think of him as an athletic center anyway. I think of Hayes as an athletic center. Jackson Hayes is twice the athlete that Ayton is. And I don't mean that to be like a derogatory thing. I just mean that, like, Jackson Hayes is a gazelle. The dude runs fast. The dude leaps high. He can run fast and leap high and finish with incredible accuracy. When I think of DeAndre Ayton, I think of a little bit more of like a Boogie Cousins type of a player, where he's gonna want the ball in his hands for a couple of seconds. He wants to size up the defender. And then he wants to put some moves. He wants to move him towards the basket and finish around him, finish on the post. For lack of the game today, that is just kind of gone. There's hardly any centers that are allowed to play that way anymore, except Jokic and Embiid when he's really healthy. But in general, that low post center is gone from the NBA. If you're not finishing lobs or like offensive rebounding, it's not, or you're a stretch five. Your offense isn't going to come from you getting the ball at the elbow. Like, you're not going to get the ball at the elbow and all the guys clear out and go to work, big man. Like, that game is gone. That game, I like that game. I enjoy watching that game. And I think when you have a skilled big man, you should take advantage of that game. But, we're talking trades over here. Yeah. Nope.
Well, let me, from our audio audience, Johnny, by the way, Johnny, just truly appreciate having you here and interacting in the chat. He said would you guys be interested in trading AR and Laravia once they both became eligible to the Blazers for Jeremy Grant, Rob Williams, Thibault, and City because Ayton likes all three? I would say no, because the Grant contract is one of the worst contracts in the NBA right now based off of value of what you're getting. And I was going to add on, I don't know what you guys are doing in Portland. I mean, it's great that you have a reunion with Damian Lillard, but Damian Lillard is getting paid 20-some-odd million every year for the next 5 years. Why was there a need to re-sign him on the team right away?
For that length of time.
For basically it's a done year. He's not coming back this year. I don't get it. And then you have Drew Holiday. That Drew Holiday trade, I still am perplexed by that you didn't get a pick from the Boston Celtics for that, because Simons is a free agent at the end of the season, and it's going to free up that money for Boston. And because you're stuck with $30+ million on the books for Holiday for 3 years for a guy that's 35. It's crazy. Well, I bet you someone will need him though. By near the end
they're
of the
hoping. I think they're hoping to flip him. I hope they're. I think they're hoping to
probably,
flip
but to not get a pick in that was just truly troubling. But the Jeremy Grant one, I can't figure out. So you have
Time Lord. No. Hard no to any trade for me that involves Robert Williams III. Time Lord is out of time because he can't stay on the court.
He might, if he stays on the court this year, people will go after him. I'll just leave it at that. I will say this with Portland. Johnny, you've got a really bright future. I really still have hopes for Scoot Henderson once he comes back for the injury. But young Hansen showed last night he is not the novelty that I think a lot of people had him pegged for.
He's
He
got
looks
skills.
like a player in this league. It's just you're going to need to watch his minutes because he still blows up, as the wrestling term, as far as after just a few minutes. So watch his if Chauncey watches his minutes carefully, he can really be a player that's productive for you because he has got a lot of great gifts. If you watched him, was it last night or the other
night? Last night. No, 2 nights ago.
Was it 2 nights ago? You could see all the skill set, the tool set that he has.
He's a 5-tool player.
Really promising. And if he ever gets into NBA condition, even though his lateral movement is not the greatest, he is someone that could be a starter in this league. Could, because he has all the tools. And I think, again, you guys have such a great future with your youth. I don't know why you guys got saddled with 3 horrible contracts.
Just the worst.
Forward. It's just absolutely, just sit there. It's just like they're there. And it's just like, I don't get it, because you guys did so well drafting and developing. Shaden Sharp, I think, could be a 20-point scorer in this league. I still, and like I said, I still have, if Scoot Henderson could just get right and find his jump shot and be consistent from there, he is I don't want to say DeAndre Fox type deal, but a model as far as his quickness and his shiftiness. He's not the quickest, but he's shifty and he's athletic enough to get to the basket for you guys. So I really think that, and Advia, again, he's really
the real deal too. He's a solid player. I think Scoot tops out at Jordan Clarkson for me. I think that's kind of his ceiling, which that's great. Then he's going to be a 6th man of the year candidate every season, or a solid guy to pair with another star guard. I don't see him hitting like all-star numbers. I think that's a lot to ask for Scoot. I'm just trying to be real. Like, he doesn't have a natural jump shot. He's got too many things he has to iron out in his game that it's just a lot to ask for him in the next year or two to take that leap. I feel like, hey, he might prove me wrong, and fantastic if he does.
I'm not giving up on Scoot. I really like Scoot when I saw him.
I really like Jordan Clarkson. I think Jordan Clarkson was a great pickup for the Knicks. He's the exact kind of guy they needed on that team. Listen, Jordan Clarkson, I love Jordan Clarkson when he's a Laker. I've been a big fan of Jordan Clarkson's entire career. The reason being is that he just does the one thing he does really well. And he's not that great at anything else, and that's fine. He's good at getting to the rim, and he's good at creating his own shot. And he can sometimes make a play for another guy if that guy happens to be near him when he realizes he's going to get out, he's in trouble. But he's not a playmaker. Yeah. He's not a point guard. You don't want him like in control of the offense. You want him to clear out the weak side and let him go to work out his man. And I think Scoot could be like that kind of guy. Like, listen, we need a bucket. Go get a bucket, Scoot. Like, it's
I mean, if he finds that consistent jump shot, and YYC and Thane, it's great to have you here. YYC is pointing it out. Yeah, if he ever finds a consistent jump shot, I think he can be a starting point guard in the league.
I would agree with that.
That's my hope. I really like that kid when I saw him here in Henderson, matched up against Wemby in that made for primetime game that they had in ESPN. Yeah. I'm just hopeful for him in the future. But Grant,
watch out for Wemby. Why?
You saw it with Wemby then. You saw it with Wemby, and it was his first appearance in America. I might be the only one who has a ticket for the game, so I'm hoping I'll get it evaluated one day. But if Wemby gets close to that MVP level status, I'm going to see if I can cash that baby in.
I'd wait till he
says what?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. A Hall of Famer?
I was just going to say, he's a Hall of Famer. He's got Hall of Famer written all over him, and you might want to wait until he wins the title and then get that ticket to us.
Okay. I'll get it appraised though. I'll get it appraised. I got
get it appraised every couple of years. See where it sits every couple of years.
I got to get it graded. YYC, what team is dumb enough to take Grant? And if you've got a whole bunch of picks you want to give up, YYC, I'd say a lot. But Johnny would tell you, you know what? I'd rather just sit on the cash than give up like 2 or 3 number ones just to get rid of him. It doesn't make any sense. Although in his last year, he'll be quite valuable in his last year.
Next season.
If you want to clear up some space on your cap, he'll become quite valuable.
I don't even know then. I don't think he's like taking himself out of games because it's Portland. I think he's just fragile.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like Brandon Roy and Greg Oden. It's just like they had tremendous talent, but their bodies, their physical structure within could not handle the rigors of an NBA season. Nothing close to it. Nothing close to the half. They barely played half the games they could play, and like we're out of the year by their second contract. Out of the season rather by their second contract. I think Oden tried to come back after like some crazy procedure he had done where like they took bone away and he like lost an inch of height and just all sorts of madness. Where I was like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, you got money, go into broadcasting. Like, do something. Just like, it's okay if somebody writes an article about you like, hey, here's the next up and coming guy, and you don't become the next up and coming guy. I don't think there's any shame in that. I understand that the world will pile shame on you, and that's because the world is bored, for lack of a better word, and petty. But if you believe in yourself, as I believe most NBA players believe in themselves, that should wash off your back like water to a duck. Cool, you don't like how my career turned out? Look at this, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because he was a 20-point scorer in the league at one point in time. And that's what got him his monies, because he played, in Denver, and then I think it was Denver, and then Portland, where he played
he played well.
And he played well. But he is the quintessential case for a guy who plays well enough to cash in, and then it goes south from there. Once you get the cash, it goes south from there.
Oh, that shoulder! Whoa, not going today. It just, you hear that click? You feel that?
Well, but the game goes south for him as well. Once you get, we've seen many players, these free agents or these guys that pick up the big, huge paycheck, and then their careers just take a turn. Well, we've got one on our team, Gleber, who signed a contract, played well enough, signed a big contract, thought he was going to be a cornerstone for Luka, and he's been miserable the past 3 seasons, and now he's most likely on his way out to.
Yeah, this is his last NBA season. Yeah. He'll be a fixture on Team Germany for another 2 or 3 years. He'll go home and like play for the national team. Probably pull down a decent paycheck there, and he'll be happy with that. And that's fine. And that's the thing, right? Like, there's definitely like a subsection of the NBA of guys who are good enough to be in the NBA, but don't love their job.
Mm-hmm.
They don't enjoy the NBA. They don't enjoy any part about it, it seems like. They're just showing up to work, and you can kind of see that, as you say, after they get that big deal. And it's unfortunate, especially for the teams that paid them, because you're hoping, and the fans especially are hoping that, like, oh, this is the guy he's going to put us over the top, and if he can just replicate what we got from him last season, and we got this guy who we just traded for, it's going to be great. And then when one of those two things doesn't work out, you're left with like Luka trying to do too much. Luka gets hurt. Kyrie gets hurt. Yada, yada, yada. It doesn't work out. And it's unfortunate for the fans. More than anybody else, I feel for the fans in those scenarios, because the fans don't know. You and I watch basketball, I think, with a slightly detached eye. I clearly want the Lakers to win every game. I don't root against the Lakers ever. Even when Matt Barnes was a Laker, I rooted for Matt Barnes. I wanted Matt Barnes to go well, even though I have no fondness for Matt Barnes whatsoever. I was quite happy to see him when he saw his way out the door. But if you're on my team, you're on my team. Like, I'm behind you. I'm supporting you. I want to see you do well. I want to see you get that big deal. I want to see you have a career high in this stat or the other stat. And I want to see you take a championship home and put a banner up on that wall at crypto.com. And so that's the reality for me. And I think for most fans, like, it's great. It's great to hear that somebody did well in preseason, or it's wonderful to hear that, Wembanyama went to a Shaolin temple and learned Kung Fu like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did from Bruce Lee all those years ago. Well, I don't know that Kareem went to a Shaolin temple, but he did study under Bruce Lee in Los Angeles. And I think all of those things help Kareem's body develop in a way that allowed him to stay on the floor. And I think Wembanyama is smart to look at a guy like Kareem and know that I'm not going to be a center in the mold of Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Few can. if there's ever another Shaq, it's going to be Zion Williamson. And I don't think he's got the mentality for it. He doesn't have that same mentality Shaq had when he came into the league. Shaq came into the league pissed off. People forget how angry Shaq played as a Magic. How he really seemed to take out his anger on the backboard and the rim every single game, every single night, against every single team. And he just didn't have the skill or the team around him to take him all the way, or the right mentality. I don't think he had the right mentality either. And as he grew up, especially Phil's influence on him, you saw him develop into a much more complete center, somebody willing to pass the ball in the right moments. Wembanyama already has the right skill set. His body just isn't there yet. Right? Like, it's not the skill set or even I think the competitive juice that Wemby has. It's that you look at him and you think, man, if somebody hits you, if you take a charge, you might not ever get up again. That might be it. You might explode into 17 different pieces, and we're gonna have to mop you up off the court and say, well, hopefully they can put you back together again, Dr. Frankenstein style. But this is it for your career, bro. I thought Darius Bazley was making Lakers 14. I don't know about Darius Bazley. We'll see. I don't know about that. I think Bronny's better than Bazley, if I'm being honest. I know people don't like Bronny for some reason. I think he's fine. He's a 55th pick. I don't know what you expect out of it. My thing with the contract thing, I'm sticking on the contract thing for a minute. My thing with the contract thing is, like, if the NBA and even the agents know this, could we not come up with a CBA that allows for, okay, you played this well this year, we're going to sign you to a 5-year scaling extension based on how you improve from this season. Your base will not change. If you get hurt, if something happens, whatever, you're still going to make 20 mil. But if you add a point per game or a rebound per game or a whatever per game, you're going to make X more. And if you hit all three of those, you're going to make XYZ more, yada, yada, yada. Is that just crazy?
Yes. That is crazy.
Why is it so crazy? It seems fair to me.
You know what? Trying to figure that out just only hurts my brain even more, Jamie. So.
All right, fine. It's a bad idea. We could just call it that. Oh, we're talking about Dalton Connect. Let's talk about Dalton.
Ken, I wanted to put this up here, and because Halloween is coming soon, and it's not just an important day for the kids out there, but for Dalton Connect, because the deadline for the team picking up his club option for 25 and 26 is this Halloween. And then the next year, it is this next Halloween. So I just want to go ahead and delve into it because I know that Tuff, and shout out to Tuff, one of our biggest fans. I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on Dalton because I know we've talked about at length on this show about how disappointed we've seen him since the trade, and it's gone south. And is it physical? Is it mental? Is there something going on? He had a horrible summer league when second-year players usually progress. So the concern is great there. He's been getting more time. He's played more minutes in the first two Laker games than anyone. So he is getting a long look from the team, and that is by design, guys, because, again, for that very reason, because the team has to commit to him and pick up that option. I think with the LeBron injury, I think they're going to keep that. Makes it more liable that they are going to keep him, but we'll have to wait and see. He needs one double-digit performance, and I think he's good to go.
These are my thoughts on Dalton. I wouldn't be surprised if he was ambivalent about staying a Laker. I think
I see it in his face.
Oh, everything. All aspects of his body language point to, I guess I'm here, right? Like, that's the vibe you get. If you go back and watch his introductory press conference from when he got picked as a Laker versus how he was talking at the end of the season, you get two very different human beings. One is excited. The other is, I'm at work. And that's what I mean. I think the business of the NBA really like takes a toll on some people's psyches. And I know it's easy for me to say this. I've never been traded. I don't know what that must be like to your soul and to your brain. I'm sure it's not a fun thought that somebody didn't think you were good enough, and you look at this guy who you got traded for, and maybe you think you're better than him, and you understand that, oh, they're just one of those draft picks. But like I'm playing right now. I'm good right now. Like whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe not consciously, but some part of his subconscious is tanking right now in Dalton Connect in the form of just not being fully engaged. Like he just doesn't seem or play like he's fully engaged. He's missing open shot after open shot. And that to me is really those are the type, that's the barometer. That for me, that's the barometer. If you're missing
but the thing is, I want to mention because I know that YYC mentions that they got it. They said they have to keep him now, but he's a negative asset apparently. He has no trade value right now. He's just a throw-in. If the Lakers did a trade tomorrow and involved him, he is a throw-in at the moment because he's just you're going to take the $4 million. They'll pick up the option, use his $4 million in a trade. That essentially that's what he is running because his trade value is nil at this point, the way he's played at this point. But the question is, do the Lakers want to keep him on the books if he continues like this for $4 million per season? If you want to say yes because they could use him in a trade, that's fine. But yeah, it's just disappointing, Jamie, because he has to shoot 40% from three to stay on the court because his defense is still abysmal. And I've seen in the first two games, it is still abysmal. And he's gotten the most minutes by above anyone else. Bronny has been second. Those two are getting a long look this exhibition season about how they're going to evaluate and how they're going to use them. But LeBron's injury does open up the opportunity even more. It's Joe Soro, cover your ears, for Bronny James and Dalton to connect to get more playing time.
I think Bronny's going to play. I think because we have so few guards, Bronny's playing a lot more, not a lot, but more this season than he played last season. Let me phrase it like that because I think that's the more accurate way to phrase it. Bronny's playing more than he did last season, guaranteed. We've got 3 actual guards on the team right now.
Yeah.
That's it. We got 3. I mean, yes, Luka functions as a point guard, right? But in terms of like the defensive side of the floor, in terms of having somebody whose size and speed matches up better with a smaller player, that ain't Luka. And so you need guards off the bench who can do that. We have 3. One of them's Austin Reeves, whose defensive lackings we've gone over ad nauseum. The other is Marcus Smart, who may or may not be available on any given night, which leaves Bronny. I should say Gabe Vincent is in there too, but I don't think Gabe makes it.
Gabe scored 16 first half.
I know, but I know, but that was in like 30 plus. It was in like 35 minutes of play. He's never going to play 35 minutes. He's not he just doesn't fit for me. I like the idea of Gabe Vincent, but he's like Kendrick Nunn. Like the idea of Kendrick Nunn always was better than what Kendrick Nunn was ever able to produce as a Laker. And I listen, the idea of Gabe Vincent is like as a light version or like a diluted version of Marcus Smart on defense, but a better version of Marcus Smart on offense always appealed to me. But it just hasn't. His defense hasn't been great as a Laker, and his shot making hasn't been great as a Laker. And he's the 7th highest paid player on our roster, I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 7th or 8th, somewhere around there. And so I just don't expect him to last on the team to the end of the season. I certainly don't expect us to retain him after this season, when I believe this is his final year, right? He doesn't have a player option for next year, does he?
For who?
Gabe Vincent. This is the final year.
He is a free. He is one of the 7 individuals I have pointed out that has the ability to be a free. This is the final year on his contract. Yes.
Yeah, so I guess from that standpoint, maybe you give him a little bit more of a shot and say like, well, it's your contract here, buddy. Let's see what you can do. But like in general, I have not been thrilled with the Gabe Vincent experience, and I will say that I have Gabe Vincent ahead of Bronny on my depth chart. That Gabe would come in before Bronny.
He is going to get because he's a veteran. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
Yeah, the known names and the known quantities, coaches always trend towards. They're very, very reluctant to put in first the young kid who might have more promise or more potential. They're always willing to go with the known names first. It's funny because I'm looking at the game, and I was just looking at the box score from the game in China between Brooklyn and Phoenix. And despite the fact you had 5, first round picks, who is still chucking up the most shots? Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas.
Oh yeah.
So
it's guaranteed. Guaranteed. Yeah. Like this is the. I mean, that team's.
It's not even close, Jamie. I think they put up almost as many shots. Those two put up as many shots, I believe, as the other first round draft picks combined. Yeah.
Right. That sounds about right for Michael Porter Jr. He's going to turn into a gunner this year. I mean, he's unshackled from winning, so he doesn't care. His brother can bet on him all he wants now because he's out of the league. So, there you go. Like, that's what's going to happen on that side of the world. And listen, Brooklyn is probably the number one threat to pull Reeves away from the Lakers because, A, there's nobody else good. He would probably be the best player on the team as soon as he got there. And they need a guy who can set those guys up. And Reeves can do that. He can drive to the cup and throw it out to Michael Porter Jr. And, I don't think Reeves would mind living in Brooklyn as opposed to New York, or LA. I mean, rather New York as opposed to Los Angeles. Although if you read his off-season interviews, he talks a lot about getting away from Los Angeles. So maybe he would rather go to a Charlotte or a New Orleans or I don't know who. I don't know exactly who has cap space next season and to what degree. I know there's 10 teams that are supposed to have a max slot at least available, which is sizable. And technically,
by the end of the season, it might change, but there'll still be over half a dozen teams that have significant cap space, including the Lakers.
Depending on what happens with LeBron. I do believe, and a lot of people aren't going to like it when I say this, but I do believe that if LeBron says, I'd like to come back at X, the Lakers go, great. No counter offer for 5 or 10 million less. Just great. We'll pay you that. And that's, in case you haven't been following the Lakers for a long time, just in the event that you just hopped on this train and you're kind of looking around, why would somebody say something like that? It's the business of being a Laker. The Lakers are in the business of being the superstar graveyard. They love it. They love it when you retire a Laker, especially if you're going into the Hall of Fame, especially if you're the all-time leader in points, especially if you created your own category of assists and rebounds, the 10,000, 5,000 club, of which LeBron is the sole member. All of these things the Lakers look at and say, please retire with our jersey as being the last one you ever wore. We beg you. We beg you to do that because it makes us look historical. And whether you agree with that or not doesn't really matter because that's what they do. So, and I don't see it changing under Mark. I don't see any of that going away. It's the business of the Lakers. If you are an aging superstar, Giannis and Jokic have great opportunities to finish their careers in Los Angeles. I guarantee you, no matter their age, well, maybe if they're 39, maybe not then, but like early 30s, sure. Come on by, baby. What's up, Mike? That's just my opinion. I think it's basically proven at this point. Like they cater to their stars, homegrown stars especially. But, Kareem wasn't a homegrown star. They catered to Kareem's every whim. Magic was a homegrown star. They let him do anything he wanted up until he just stopped. He had to walk away himself and say, I don't know what's going on anymore. I can't deal with this. Like, I got to go do something else for a while. That's how Magic left the Laker franchise. Not like, we've had enough of you, Magic. You're a terrible coach. You weren't you ran the team like crap. They would have kept him. They would have happily paid him in that position, I think, for several more years if he hadn't walked away. And I'm glad he did, because I don't think he did a very good job as the president, GM, whatever he was, whatever his weird title was. It was like,
No,
I'm
he
here.
has not. He's not had a very auspicious time as coach or GM. As
Off the court, he's been terrible. He's not his investments. His investments have panned out great. His basketball endeavors,
Lakers. Yeah. That's something.
Not so great. Not so great.
Yeah, well, but it's such a small part of his legacy, plus his talk show. That we don't talk. Those are things that not many people will talk about or just remember as time goes on.
I remember his talk show. It was awful.
Although, if I would say Magic, if I saw him at the Starbucks, I would say Magic. Thank you for so much for everything that you gave the Lakers.
Yes.
Why the hell did you trade away Zubats for Mike effing Muscala?
Oh, God.
And have a great day, Magic. Bye-bye.
Well, he wouldn't invite you to his birthday, Gerald. I'll tell you that right now.
I know. Again, he's one of my all-time favorite players, and it would hurt me to say that, but
it's true.
You see what's going on. Zubats would have been the perfect complement to Luka right now,
and LeBron.
What he does,
and LeBron.
And LeBron.
He does he's everything you want in your center for those guys to be. I don't need the ball. I don't need to score points. I'm still going to try hard on defense.
But he sets up. Him and Harden have developed one of the deadliest pick and rolls in the league. He anchors a top 5 defense.
He's a great defensive.
He rebounds at a very high level on both ends.
Top 5 rebounder, I believe. No,
on both ends. Yeah, and he's really progressed that. And I saw that. I said that on the show, and I saw that.
No, we both. You and I are both Zubats believers. I'm a huge Zubats believer. I was when he was going to be a free agent, but then they extended him. And that's the thing. That's one of the things that's nicked the Lakers of late, I think, and the Knicks, and to a lesser degree, Houston. The lack of free agency. How every team says and agent says, you might not like the situation, but I can tell you that you're going to get the most years and the most money if you stay. We can work our way out of here later, but it's not the same. To see, that's why the trading deadline is now where the fireworks happen. That's where you saw the Luka deal. That's where you see all these. We're getting rid of this guy, for 17 draft picks and 2 crap players. Yay, 17 draft picks. And it's so different than when I was coming up as a fan, and it was free agency that just dominated the conversation besides the season. Oh, this guy got traded, this team traded this guy, and that was cool or whatever. It's not like that anymore. Now it's the trading deadline. You have all these specials. Everybody's talking about the trading deadline. What trade is it going to make? How are you going to, even if you're a top team in any conference, you still need a trade because, and I'm why? We're one of the top teams. We're rolling. Let it roll. Just let it go. And free agency, because all the key guys are extended, is now kind of hey, THT didn't get a contract. Well, I called that 3 years ago that this was going to be whatever deal he got with Utah was the last deal he was ever going to get. And here we are. Good luck to you, long arms. Good luck to you. I'll always wish you had never stayed a Laker.
Exactly.
I'll always wish we had picked Caruso over you, buddy. No offense, but it just would have made so much more sense back then and today. So that's my opinion on that. Well, I think we're coming up on an hour here, Gerald. I got to get going with my day. Is there anything you'd like to add before we skip on out?
Absolutely. There's a couple things. My NBA team previews continue. I'm going to pop it in later today. My next one that I have for members, if you're a member, it's $2.99 a month, is the Portland Trailblazers, Peter Sampson. And for you guys out there that are getting the regular ones that are going to be released out the day after, because members get it first. The next one I'm going to release out there later this afternoon is Luke Duffy. That's part 2 of our look at the Phoenix Suns. So, yeah, we're rolling along. I've got all my interviews for all the NBA teams. Looking forward to having you guys watch them. Took a lot of time in doing so, really would like to hopefully get some feedback on that. I also got a couple more interviews, special interviews I've got lined up as well that I already recorded. So I'm looking forward to that, including a very tasty upcoming book. And that's all I'm allowed to say due to embargo reasons. So the author is coming up as well. If you guys know that I've had a couple of Laker book authors in the past, including the guy that was the inspiration, as far as his book is the inspiration for Winning Time. So from as far as that's concerned, so if you guys want to check that out, that'll be coming up here in the coming days as well. And then looking forward to that. Plus, also as well, want to go ahead and mention we'll be on tonight after the game. Well, first I have the game on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, and then of course the post game as well.
Fun. Well, Gerald, I'd like to thank you. Thank you to Julian for popping on the show.
I think you did that just because you were just offsetting what.
No, I hang out with these geriatrics all the time. They're these old guys who are like, Jamie, you're not positive about anything. Rah, rah, rah. You know, I went completely the opposite for the 12-year-old demographic, which actually sounds a little weird when I put it that way. And I didn't really mean for it to come out that way. But like, I just wanted to get the viewpoints of somebody a little younger. Let's just put it that way. Because I like.
Yeah, you did. All right.
You know, I'll say this. I think that people of all ages can have opinions about sport, and that's one of the great joys I get out of sports, is that wherever you go, whatever you're doing, if you guys are a fan of the same sport, and even better, the same team, you have a lot to talk about. You can be at a party, you can be waiting for the subway, and you can strike up a friendly conversation with a neighbor. And let's be honest, the nation and the world could probably use a few more friendlier conversations face-to-face and less snarky social media interactions, because let's be honest, snarky interactions in social media get us approximately nowhere. And so that's my 2 bits on that jazz. So I'd like to thank the awesomest chat room in all of sport podcasting. You guys are great. YYC, it's always great to see you around. Some of you guys I don't know that I've seen over here. Famous I've seen before. Tough So and well, I didn't see that Daniel Berry posted. Rams gonna win.
CBSH, yo, great to have them all here.
Always, but I don't know. The Rams are gonna be mediocre. They're pretty good, I guess. I don't care. I'm not a big Rams fan. No football.
I had a great time at the UNLV game. We're still 6-0. You know, it was one of the most exciting games I've ever been to live. My eldest daughter was with me, and she was jumping up and down. She was screaming because it came down to a last-second field goal that missed, and the UNLV escaped with the victory. There again, still not ranked, but yeah, it's great for the community, and they're really excited about it. Plus, the Aces won. And congratulations to them as well. That parade is coming up this week. So
actually, Gerald, next year I want to do a WNBA podcast on your channel, if that's cool. I am a huge fan of I've been a fan of the WNBA since its inception. I've been there for the great Sparks teams and the terrible Sparks teams. I've been there through the highs and the very low lows of the WNBA itself. I should say that if there is a season next season, because
that's the caveat, my friend, because it doesn't look really good.
Doesn't look good right now. Well, we'll see. You know, Adam Silver might have stuff in.
Well, funny you should mention that. Let me go ahead and see if I can still bring it up. Yeah, let me see if I can still bring it up here.
Let's talk WNBA.
Because Huck's asking who
flipped the bird.
Let me see.
Oh, are you trying to bring up the clip?
Yeah, I'm trying to pick up the clip. Or I also, let me see.
I don't think that was the only time, if I'm being honest. It might have been the only time it was caught on camera.
It's not the only time. I know he's called me stupid and a whole bunch of things on the show.
Tom's a passionate man, and I'm never going to take that away from him. I like that he's a passionate man. It's it's a strength, in my opinion. And it doesn't bother me if he gets mad at me. Like, I'm going to continue on my merry way, being myself, and it's great. And, you know, he doesn't have to like everything I say, and I don't have to like everything he says. That doesn't mean we can't be friends. This is what I'm getting at about modern society. Some people can't.
There you go. Right there. Absolutely. There you go, Tough. There you go right there. That's the action shot from Tom. I got. So.
I really want you to make a shirt of that for me, and it just says Lakers.
I was actually going to post it on your board. I was waiting for I peek in for Lakerholics all the time, and I was just going to post that in there. So
Please,
but if you want to
do.
catch it, it's about a month ago, Tough.
Yeah.
The Lakerholics from a month ago.
Woo.
But it's about an hour and 40 minutes in, roughly, just to get
Yeah,
it.
that was one of my top. I mean, that was the other thing. Is I think after an hour and 40 minutes, Tom just can't take any more of my realism and my logic. He's just like, you can't.
An hour.
You have to live in a fantasy world for some part of your day. And I'm like, do I?
Yeah,
Not with the Lakers.
It got really nasty towards the end because I came on later in the end, and I was cool. But yes, those two went at it, and it's something to behold.
I don't think so. I don't think we go at it. I just think we have lively debates.
Well,
I look at it, it's a lively debate.
Me. Well, you get them back on the show this week. They're
I'll try.
Next week. You get them back on the show before the season.
We might have to start paying them. I don't know.
I can't. I could barely. YouTube barely pays me anything.
Oh, whatever. Look at your house. You're rolling in it. I'm just kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. I'm giving you a hard time.
I'm rolling in something, but it ain't cash.
Well, that's your own fault. Clean up your office.
There you go. Well, marijuana is legal to smoke in this town. I'll just leave it at that. But heyo. But yeah, it's funny because when I walked out of the Legion Stadium, people lighting up like no tomorrow out there, and it was not cigarettes.
No. It's never anymore, which is better.
Yes.
It's better for everybody. I mean, I don't know about that. I think it's better, and I'm no scientist.
Yes, and if you,
I'm no RFK. I'm no RFK Junior.
I try to live a clean life, so I'm not into that. But if you do, plus it's too expensive a habit. That to me, I can't spend the money on that.
You can grow your own, man.
I went into a Christmas because I know I have a friend that does light up for medicinal purposes. And I went to one of these stores, and it's so weird because they try to circumvent the taxes. So they make you to buy, because I bought them a gift card. So I'm like buying a gift card, and then they make you go ahead and do through. It's so weird because they're trying to bypass local or state or some type of taxes when they're doing it. The way that they circumvent you there, it's just as crazy. And these are stores all over town as far as I'm concerned. But yeah. I don't know how you guys in Vegas or everywhere out there try to, you light up. More power to you if you do, but yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah.
Well, we don't need to get into the specifics of how I support my mental health, but Gerald, you should drop the link for that YouTube video in the chat so anybody who wants to go back and watch it.
Let me go ahead. Yeah, I'll put it in here. Hold on.
Because Tough So's saying like I will hunt for that. No need to hunt for that. Gerald will drop it in the chat for you, and I think you
find it for you in just a second. So it was a live show. It was about a month ago. No, you and I were on 2 weeks ago.
You and I were on 2 weeks ago. We missed the week.
Yeah, it was about an hour, 40 minutes in. Here it is.
Well, Joe and Gerald have butted heads a few times. Listen, this is what I mean. That's one of the things that I like about the show. And like I get it. Like people get impassioned about their viewpoints, and they want to defend their viewpoints. And it's nice when everybody thinks you're right. I understand all that.
Well, I always prove myself right against Joe. That's too easy to do.
That's
entirely.
I love it. I love trash talk, man. It's one of the few reasons that it's just one of the great. It's just the.
Oh my gosh, I've been doing it all. Okay, and let me ask you this before we go.
Sure.
To ask your thoughts on the LeBron second decision thing because we finally got a commenter that supports LeBron that just was sucking up everything LeBron. So I've been going back and forth all weekend long with this guy that's been commenting on YouTube. And
classless.
It's just he's called us whiny. He called us little girls. He called us stuff. It's like, okay, if you disagree with us, right. I respect your opinion, but please do it in a respectable fashion. Just calling us out and calling us names from the get-go is only going to get us started. Joe, myself, whoever's on the show, is only going to get us started to reply back, and it denigrates from there. And again, I've been one-ing up this guy all weekend long and humiliating him all weekend long every time he gets a reply, and it's just like, if you'd just said, hey, I disagree with you guys. I thought it was a great ad. I enjoyed it. Okay. Fine. Would have left it alone.
This is my problem with it. My problem with it is that it ignores how It really is just like, I'm gonna
LeBron
crap
did
on
not read the room when he made that video. I'll just say that.
or the first decision. Neither the
Yeah.
first or second decision was a
Agreed.
good reading of the room. Both of them came off as entitled, as I don't really care about the people who are invested in me, who are not.
Attention-seeking, self-serving,
Yeah,
whatever you want to
just
say.
I'm sure that LeBron didn't come up with that ad. I'm sure Hennessy came to him like, "Hey, we thought it would be really funny if," and then somebody on LeBron's side was like, "Yeah, it would be kind of funny," and LeBron's like, "Yeah, all right, whatever. I don't really care. It's Hennessy. It's going to be overpriced because my name's attached to it. I'll make some money off it. Great. What do I care?" It ignores that his first decision really did mess up the entire state of Cleveland. Like, the entire state of Cleveland was instantly pissed off to a degree that you don't really see publicly that much for a very long time. And LeBron's social standing and public persona took a big hit from that, to the point that he made a Nike commercial about how, oh, now I'm the villain. And even that, he was trying to, I think, like, fix it. He wasn't embracing the villain role like Kobe embraced the villain role. And did very well with the villain role in his career. That's not LeBron. LeBron's more like Magic. LeBron wants to be liked. LeBron, you could argue, needs to be liked for him to be at his best. And because that resulted in such a backlash, I thought that both his money-making opportunities and his on-court product, his game, suffered as a result of that. Now, I don't think that's going to happen this time. It was a mostly harmless thing if you look at it. I mean, we're talking about an ad for booze that very few people drink. I don't know anybody that drinks, Hennessy or liqueur of that nature, unless it's part of another alcoholic, a cocktail of some sort. It's in the comments below this video. Much ado about nothing.
Well, again, I did it earlier last week. It's in the. If you take a look, it's in the comments. It's not in the comments that was live. It's in the comments that are actually permanently below. You can look at it now, but it is very elongated out. And he kept trying to defend LeBron. He kept trying to say we were whiny, complaining, et cetera, et cetera. And I kept just coming back at him with the proof. He denied, never mentioned all the noise as far as that was surrounding it. He even mentioned Ayesha Curry, and he brings that out there how, you guys, y'all, and he kept using y'all. No, you address me as me. Don't account for everybody. Everybody else has their own individual thoughts and opinions. If you're talking to me, you speak to me, address it to solely me. I am addressing it solely to you, and I'm not generalizing, saying y'all. You address it solely to me. It's a matter of respect. I'm trying to respect you, and I even said in the many conversations, Tub, how I respect your opinion, but please, you're not respecting ours, and it's the facts are the facts. The noise that he creates. Oh, but he's never been arrested. That's not the point. The distractions that he continually makes for himself that he doesn't need to. No other player does this with these kind of shenanigans over the course of years. The symbolism in the social media pictures and all that, behind it with the Clippers logo behind them, or the hourglass, or the taking, all the Knicks going to the Knicks game in Knicks clothes, and having the Knicks towel conveniently draped around him after the game in New York. Those kind of things that he's done throughout his career. You don't need it. You are one of the all-time greatest players that will ever play this game. No one can take away that from you. There is no need to continually bring this outside note. And this guy just didn't get it. He just wasn't including himself in. So I had to bury him again and again, because we were doing this throughout the weekend, and it's just, again, it's all there, guys. It's in the Much Ado About Nothing. It's right there on the bottom in the comments. You can read it all. It's very extensive. It's about 10,000 words, I think, total combined between us. He gave up because I think when I quoted Captain America, aka Chris Evans, and said I can do this all day, I think that's when he stopped, because I haven't heard anything since. So it's just it's not necessary for one of the greatest players of all time, Jay. It's just not necessary. You just have to read the room.
No, but I mean, listen, we talk about, Jared Vanderbilt, who he is, and Marcus Smart is who he is, and Time Lord. LeBron is who he is. The guy's 40 years old. He's 41, actually, I think. Or no, he's turning 41 in like 3 months, right? He's 40 now,
Yes,
turning 41.
in December, he'll be 41.
But he's 40 plus, and if you think he's going to change, it's just not happening. It's like when people, I remember like this when Tom first started Lakerholics, and towards the end of the LA Times blog that we were all a part of, and when that shut down, he made Lakerholics. There's a whole cadre of people for late career Kobe who are like, oh, well, late career Kobe, he's going to learn how to like distribute the ball and share the ball more, and he's going to be like a playmaker more, and he's going to still be great at defense. He's just not going to shoot the ball as much. And I was just like, you are mad. You're mad to suggest such a thing, because I don't know anybody. I'm not saying even sports people. I don't know anybody who has built up a persona or a way of doing things, and then at a certain age just decided, well, that's it for that. I'm just going to change everything that I do now. I've had a lot of success in my life this way. I've made money this way. I've had a lot of friends. I'm socially whatever it is. Nobody goes through a wholesale personality change over a summer, or because they turned from 35 to 36, or what have you. It takes external pressure. It takes external pressure forcing you to change. And if that does not occur, it just doesn't occur. It's really no more difficult than that, I think, to grasp. And so LeBron is LeBron, and he proved it earlier in the summer with the Rich Paul tweet that I'm sure he greenlighted, right? I mean, yes, it came from Rich Paul, but I'm sure LeBron was on some level aware that it was coming out. And, maybe not aware of exactly the words that were going to be used, but like had a gist of like the point of it, and didn't have a problem with that, even though all it did was make people talk about LeBron James for a month for no good reason other than to just talk about LeBron James. It was neither positive nor negative. It was about, just bull crap and a waste of time if you involved yourself in it. But I would say the same thing about like the Coachgate tweet that he had. Or like, when he walks past a coach who has his hand out for a high five and he misses it, and suddenly the internet blows up about, oh, LeBron is unhappy with his shot. And it's just like, can you really try harder to read more into a situation and make more of a mountain out of a molehill? I mean, you could, but it would take some doing. And it just, I just don't have time for it. It's just so much hot air being blown up my butt that I can't deal, and I don't care. I truly don't care. If LeBron's happy or unhappy, he's a billionaire. He's going to be fine. LeBron is going to be just fine. We don't have to worry about him anymore, people. We can stop worrying about LeBron. Okay?
Well, he's a billionaire. He's good. But he doesn't play at this point. As I said to the guy, I was a LeBron supporter, a very big LeBron supporter in his early years with the Lakers. But the noise, it's just the noise. And I just, after a while, it just wore me down, Jamie. It beat me down, and I just said, enough's enough. And I just had enough.
Did you feel the same about Kobe, though? Did you feel the same about Kobe towards the end of his career?
I just didn't feel enough. I mean, with Kobe, it was just like, is he playing for, well, I mean, is the team still just, the team wanted the best possible ending, the most magical ending for Kobe as well. So Kobe, of course, took advantage of it, and more power to him for doing so. It wasn't the best and smartest approach in the way you wanted to end Kobe's career, surrounding him with players, maybe not giving him such a large contract. I mean, you could go on that all day. I don't want to, because you and I, when we talk about Kobe,
and it's water under the bridge. It's done.
Yeah, the parts about Kobe that maybe a little more controversial, people will just roast us alive for that. They've roasted you for that. Remember if you remember the email.
Oh yeah, no, we can talk about Colorado on a whole episode.
No.
How dare you mention it?
Well, I just got done. I just got 2 days done of getting back with people on that.
Get over yourself. It happened.
To get it, I don't. Kobe. But Kobe was only there, at the latter part of his career in the rise of social media. Facebook was still prominent.
This is very true.
Yeah, he didn't have the advantages that LeBron does in this certain media age. But again, he did not do the things that LeBron did to make this excess noise.
I see what you're saying
The,
there. I
the
guess.
Lakers helped induce some of that, like, that noise just by giving him that contract. It is what it is. Somebody offers you that large contract, you're going to say yes, and more power to him again for doing so. But it created a situation where it was really hard to build around him for the final years of the team going forward. But again, that's another
that would have been
issue for
true of
another day.
LeBron had we not been gifted Luka. That would have been true of LeBron had we not been gifted Luka.
And exactly. But with LeBron, a lot of this is self-created noise, and I'm just exhausted, and I cannot defend it anymore. And I describing to this guy, and just, because he didn't want to listen, and that's fine. You don't want to listen, you're fine. But the facts are the facts as far as what he's doing. It's unnecessary. And will it tarnish his legacy? No. In 10, 20 years, people are going to forget that he did all that extra stuff. He'll just see the numbers, and
they won't forget the decision. They will never forget the decision. The first one. The second one is already I've had to be honest, until you brought it up just now, I'd forgotten about it. I don't care.
Kobe will always be revered. He's one of the greatest of all time, and his legacy shall live forever. And
I'm going to start calling him.
LeBron will too as well, Jamie. But calling what? No.
I'm going to start calling Kobe Colorado Kobe just for you, Gerald.
No, don't do that. Don't do that, because I don't want another 10,000 word email. Again,
that guy Jamie.
If you guys have opinions on Colorado Kobe, keep them to yourself. I don't want to go down there. I'll tell you what. One day down the road, we may have a special episode where we could just let it all out.
Listen. This is what I'm going to say. Let me put this all in perspective. If you're not somebody who, I've been in trouble with the law before. I've been arrested before. It's not a problem for me. I'm not going to talk about why. We're not going to get into the whys. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
When you go through something like that, it's not because you are an inherently bad human being. It's because you made a bad decision. And in this case, this bad decision affected other people. And to what degree, or whether the financial compensation of the aftermath is acceptable, or whatever you want to expose or expound or theorize about this or that. I did, Tom. That's right. I did. I just did. I just routed the show into a whole other direction, despite Gerald wishing I would never do so again. But my point is this. What I will always, always, always give Kobe Bryant credit for is that I do truly believe that he learned from his experience and that it had improved him as a person. And that is what you have to hope for in those situations. Not that whether somebody's super duper sorry that it happened. It doesn't matter. It's too late for that. It already happened. You already did a bad thing. How bad it was, or to what degree it was somebody else's fault, whatever. My point is, I do believe that he improved upon it. I do believe that he was making strides to, like, a lot of the things that he did in his late career, and like as a dad, I think, were to address that part of him that he realized that was a really terrible thing I did. As a father of daughters, would I want somebody to do that to? Absolutely not. And so that's what I take from that. I make fun of it because it's a big, easy target, and it riles people up clearly still for some reason. And, it's the same thing with a lot of people. Like when you're infatuated, where you have a celebrity that you really like and something bad happens to them, some people just keep turning a blind eye. And I don't understand that. Like, these are all just people. Everybody makes bad decisions. Everybody makes a poor choice from time to time. You should neither be let off the hook or forever roasted for it. I mean, there's exceptions to that. Like, I don't think we should ever look back and be like, that Hitler guy, he had some good points. That's, there's some things where, like, this person was garbage.
No, I wish we could never bring up that name on the show, please. I would. Okay,
I apologize. I'll try to bring up a different dictator, not the one currently running the country either, because that'll also inflame our audience. Oh, he's talking politics. Get over yourself. It happens. We live in the country, bro. We're all here. We're all here in the country, man. Well, actually, some of you are in different countries, and maybe it's better for you.
By the way, Jamie was mocking that as far as that individual.
That man, I certainly was.
Yeah.
Anyhow, listen, I want to end it on a positive note. Let's hope for a Lakers' first preseason victory of the preseason tonight. We are making way too much out of a meaningless preseason game. I agree. Well, not for some of the guys. You missed the early part of the show.
Yes and no, Xbox, because again, this is about the preseason's not about Luka. The preseason's not about
Luka's going to be great.
It's more about the rotation and what you're seeing out of them, because you're trying to evaluate players. In this case for the Lakers, 4 through 15. Yeah.
I was going to say 7 through 14. We don't have 15 players. We can't have a 15th player. We don't have the space. We don't have the money to put a 15th player on the roster right now.
Yeah.
But and our two ways. But
the two ways.
I agree. It's glorified practice, and I would never say otherwise. But I do think it matters for 7 through 14 on our team.
It does, because this is if Bronny does well, he'll get some looks early in the season. If Dalton
does well, he stays a Laker next year.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, all right. I really do have to get going now because I'm going to be in hot water. So
all right.
Make
sure you guys check out Lakerholics.com, and they have these kind of discussions all the time. And then again, if you guys go ahead, you'll see later on today, you'll see my latest NBA team preview. And then tonight, the Lakers on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then, of course, the post game as well. So, Jamie, send us on home, my friend.
Thanks, everybody, for watching Lakers Fast Break Spotlight on the Lakerholics weekend. Hopefully, I have my friends, and I call them friends. I don't care what you say, Gerald. Laker Tom and Michael H. I respect their opinions. I just don't often agree with Tom's. I often agree with Michael's. Michael's got a pretty Bronny sucks. All right, whatever. Here's the 55th pick in the draft, people.
Well, Ario 40 is in New York right now. He's playing well for them, and he's a 7-footer we could have had instead of Bronny. I'll just admit
whatever. Fair enough. Listen, there's always some, it doesn't matter. There's always somebody better who got picked later. And
it's often about Brendan and Bronny, that's for sure.
At any rate, I would like to thank Gerald Glasser for coming on for me and for all that he does for the channel, which is basically everything. So thank you, Gerald. And Joe Soro, Sean Grice, the Magic Man, Stone Hansen, all the guys that come on the show. There's too many. I'll run out of time, and I'll forget some of their names, and that's not cool. Shout out to Raphael, who got a job with the Dallas Mavericks as an international scout. Way to go, Raphael. Way to go,
Raphael Barlow. He was a great part of our show. Yeah, he was a great part of the show in the early days. Big shout out to him. His dream is to come true. And he actually has a paying job, no intern, because he had an intern with.
He was an intern for a while.
With the Clippers, yeah. But this is actually a paying gig for him. I believe he's moving overseas with his wife and his child. I just wish him the best, because he has worked hard at this, and he really has a keen mind for the game. So just congratulations to him.
All around shout out to Raphael. Great job, man. We'll love to see people take their passion and move it forward into something that they can economize and monetize, because that's the dream, I think, for everybody. So on that note, let's all live our dreams. Let's not be dicks, and have a great game tonight, everybody. Adios.
I'll see you tonight, guys.